on rent, utilities, and other living expenses. What? He was living below his means? Say it isn't so. He continues, my goal was to save $1,000 a month. Well, he had to scale back $400, so he said, I scaled back. Even while working 10 to 12-hour shift, I'd skip meals, eating a protein bar or drinking Ensure shakes to get me through the day. The occasional splurged entailed spending $5 at McDonald's for a Sunday breakfast of hotcakes, sausage, and 2 hash browns. I used leftover food stamp money from my final months of schooling, college, to help cover grocery costs, and I avoid turning on the heat during very long Green Bay winters to keep my utility bills low. Within 6 months, I finally had enough to pay off my auto loan. The timing was impeccable. Just as I paid off the car, my student loan bills started coming due. His student loan bills. Yeah, people forget you got to actually pay those things. The sobering forecast for the next 10 years, I was expected to pay the government $235.65 a month. I realized that making $13 an hour wasn't going to do the trick this time. But then something incredible happened. I landed a job as an associate producer at CNN's headquarters in Atlanta, making $25 an hour, almost double what I was making in Green Bay. Things were looking up. So he goes from Arizona to Green Bay, Wisconsin, down to Atlanta, Georgia. Things were looking up. I was in a new city, had a great job, but despite all of that, my student loan debt continued to weigh me down. So I crunched the numbers and I made a plan. He made a plan. I would spend no more than a quarter of my monthly income on essentials, meaning rent, utilities, phone bills, and groceries. And the rest would be stowed away in savings. Simple pleasures like dining out and partying were put on hold or rationed when living in solitude became too much to bear. While my new rent was much higher, $930 a month in Atlanta compared to $670 in Green Bay, I cut back on other expenses. I got rid of cable and replaced it with AT&T's Uverse internet connection and streaming Netflix accounts, slashing my cable bill from $135 to just $55 a month. An employee discount helped me cut my cell phone bill from $100 to $70 a month. And by living only a couple of miles from my office, my commute cost me just $40 a month in gas. I also became entranced with super saving. Cooking meats past their expiration date. Yes, a couple of times I paid the price for this or rinsing the mold off of a pruned vegetable became routine. Grocery shopping became a scavenger hunt to find the cheapest deals. I always paid extra attention to the temporary price cut section, seeking out the buy 10 for $10 deals. I would bring it to the attention of the cashier when my usual box of pasta roni had skyrocketed to $1.14 from 99 cents, and would hold off on a bundle of bananas because I recall seeing them at another store for 14 cents each, not 23 cents. Oh, he was comparison shopping, watching his pennies. This is what everyday $25 an hour, folks. He's middle class. He's middle class. Watching his pennies. Though I often went to bed hungry, left the heater and air conditioner off during the winter and summer months until my 115-pound body couldn't take it anymore, I never lost sight of the bigger picture. It's been well over a month since I have received a notification from my bank that an automatic payment for a student loan was due. Now that I'm not tied down to any debt, I have the freedom to make decisions I couldn't make before. I can make a purchase without worrying about overdrawing my bank account or falling behind on my bills. Even though I'm pretty much back to where I started when I first arrived in Atlanta with just a couple $1,000s to my name, still doing better than a lot of people, I still feel like I hit the jackpot. Now, I don't know if this kid is actually 115 pounds. I mean, he looks pretty thin. I don't know how small or large he is. He's probably not very tall. And, you know, he looks healthy and well-fed. In the picture, I can CNN. But he just went, he's 25 years old, and he's debt-free. He went through a little bit of pain, and as long as he doesn't do stupid things with his finances, he's going to reap the benefits of that for the rest of his life at 25. And our government says our government wants to take more tax money from this kid who's being smart and responsible. Now, granted, kid, you could have stretched out your payment schedule another 6 months or so if it would have meant you got to eat a little bit better, but he made it through. So the so-called pain and suffering of not, I mean, when he graduated, at 22? And now he's 3 years later, 3 years out of college, he's debt-free, and he's free to really live. I got to tell you, I wish at 25 I was that smart. Now, hopefully he takes those lessons and continues forward. But congratulations to him, and this is something that everybody should think about. And now he's going to be in a position that if he wants to, he's going to be able to save a bundle of his money in a short period of time and buy a house. He's going to be able to save a bundle of his money, not necessarily buy a new car, but buy, a fairly new used vehicle and probably pay cash for it. One of the best things is having a late model vehicle that is in great operating condition and not having a monthly payment on it. You own the thing outright. Well, that is such a great feeling. It's a beautiful thing. Well, we all can't do that, Rod. Oh, BS, you can't. It would be a hell of a lot easier if you lowered your expectations a little bit to what you could actually afford. You don't spend $400 a month on a BMW or Mercedes or Audi. But maybe you buy that Scion instead. And if you're going to spend, $400 or $500 a month on a car, why not put that same amount towards a less expensive car? You'll pay it off sooner. I don't want that kind of car. Why? Because you're more concerned about what other people will think. I don't give a damn what people think about me driving my TC. I don't care. One, I know it's a very reliable vehicle. It's had one owner, me. I've taken good care of it. It's paid for, free and clear. It's mine. And it's in good shape. I don't care what people think. Actually, I never did care what people think of what I drove. Never did. I drove cars because I wanted to drive them, and I made damn sure that I could afford them, or paid cash for them, or didn't go out and buy something that I shouldn't have bought. Plain and simple. So good for this kid, Brian McBride. Kudos to you, sir. Cold snap is expected to be worst in years, affecting California's truckers, the surfers, oh my, and even monkeys. Yes, San Diego, California was going from cold to colder Friday as a chill expected to bring the biggest mercury dips in years descended on much of the state. I guess I'm not going to Palm Springs then. Now, it's cold in California. You know what? When I was in San Francisco back in November, it really was. The temperature was lower in San Francisco than it was back here in New England. while I was in San Francisco. That's sad. Now, I know the San Francisco Bay is supposed to be cool, cooler than much of the rest of the state, but colder than New England? Damn. But in any case, global warming, I guess. That man-made global warming, all those temperatures rising all over the place. California is going from cold to colder Friday as a chill expected to bring the biggest mercury dips in years descended on much of the state. The Grapevine section of Interstate 5, the key artery linking southern and northern California, was shut down Thursday night. The area was blanketed with heavy snowfall that showed no immediate signs of stopping, leaving truckers and would-be travelers stranded. Police said the closure would remain in effect overnight and the roadway would be reevaluated in the morning. The day saw several accidents and spinouts on the mountain pass that led to a pair of closures, the second of which continued into the night. Elsewhere, strawberry growers covered their crops while San Diego zookeepers turned on heaters for the chimps. Forecasters warned that a low pressure trough sinking over San Diego County and parts of neighboring Orange County could keep nightly temperatures below the freezing point in coastal areas, the low deserts, and inland valleys, threatening orange avocado orchards and other sensitive plants. The coldest nights were expected to hit Friday and Saturday, tomorrow. So there you go. Global warming, man-made global warming, is hitting California and really heating it up over there. So if you're planning on taking a trip to Southern California, you really better check the weather forecast first. Because for a good portion of the country, they go to Southern California or they go to Florida during the winter months to get warm. Well, it ain't warm over there. Just to let you know. But gasoline prices are predicted to fall in 2013, so it might cost you a little bit less to idle your vehicle if you are in California to keep that heater on. After price spikes, gas could get cheaper in 2013 thanks to ample supplies and feeble U.S. demand. And part of that demand is, we're driving generally more fuel-efficient cars, not necessarily the Prius. And two, because the economy is in the toilet. At least gasoline should cost you less in 2013. Hamburger, healthcare, and taxes are all set to take a bigger bite out of the family budget this year. And this is from the AP, by the way. AP is saying this. Healthcare and taxes. Healthcare is supposed to cost us less. Isn't that what Obama said? Yeah. Healthcare and taxes are set to take a bigger bite out of the family budget this year. And hamburger. Well, you know what? It's easy not to buy meat. I'm not saying that you have to become a vegetarian, folks, but it's easy not to buy meat. You don't need to. It's really, I know people think they got to have meat at every meal. It's easy not to buy meat. You know how easy it is to cut your meat consumption in half? Just make 2 or 3 days a week, just vegetarian days. You'll be surprised. You won't really miss it. And your food, but you'll save a bundle on your grocery bill, and you'll find that you're going to get a little bit healthier and probably lose a little bit of weight along the way that you had trouble losing before. Try it. Well, forecasters say ample oil supplies and a weak U.S. demand will keep a lid on prices. The lows will be lower, and the highs won't be so high compared with a year ago. The average price of gasoline will fall 5% to $3.44, according to the Energy Department. Oh, yes, we're supposed to jump up and down for joy because gas prices are going to be $3.44 on average instead of close to $4. Be still, my heart. We're going to save a bundle. Not.
I always loved watching the kids play basketball. I still do, even though things have changed. It's funny, they can't find jobs to get their careers started. And I can't afford to retire. And now we're all living together again. I supported President Obama because he spoke so beautifully. He promised change, but things changed for the worse. Obama started spending like our credit cards have no limit. His healthcare law made health insurance even more expensive. We've had stimulus and bailouts. Obama added almost $16,000 in debt for every American. How will my kids pay that off when they can't even find